Hello and welcome to Classic Recaps. Today's recap is going to be a fantasy action adventure film produced in 2017, titled The Mummy. An ancient queen, who was deprived of her destiny, has been buried for millions of years but wakes up in today's world in order to get her revenge by unleashing a terrifying evil force that humans have never seen before. Spoilers ahead, watch out and take care. The film opens in modern-day London, where a number of construction workers who are working on a new railway road stumble upon an ancient tomb. Soon enough, a mysterious man walks in sight and he and his team order the construction workers to leave. The man starts narrating the story of the tomb and the film takes us back to ancient Egypt, where a young woman, Ahmanet, is training to become the successor to Pharaoh's throne. However, the pharaoh has a newborn son and she realizes that she is not going to be Egypt's next queen since the boy inherits the right to become the pharaoh's successor. Driven by anger, Ahmanet makes a deal with Set, the god of death, and kills the pharaoh, his wife, and the baby. She gets arrested for her sins and then gets mummified and buried while she is still alive. Although things seem to have ended for her, the man narrates that death is just another portal to life. Back in the present, Nick and Vale, two military spies, are watching over a hostile location, but they also have a side objective of their own, finding antiquities and selling them in the black market. Nick is thrilled because he thinks they have found a location where there are ancient treasures hidden and he rushes early on, causing them to be exposed and hunted by their enemies. Moments before getting cornered, a drone attack saves them both while also opening a hole in the ground which reveals an ancient tomb. Jenny, an archaeologist who had her map stolen by Nick, appears and requires to examine the findings while also requesting military protection. The commander gives her 2 hours and orders Nick and Vale to help Jenny out. The three of them dive into the tomb and they soon notice that the ceiling is dripping mercury, which is then collected through small holes in the ground that lead to a lake filled with mercury. Jenny sees 6 statues that represent 6 guards around the lake and she mentions that the guards are looking inwards instead of outward, which prompts her to conclude that this is not a tomb but a prison. Nick shoots one of the many wires around the place and that causes Ahmanet's ancient tomb to rise from within the lake. While Nick looks at it, he gets attracted to it and he sees a vision. In his vision, he finds himself in the desert and Ahmanet approaches him, gently touching his face and asking him to free her because he is the chosen one. Nick snaps back to reality when Jenny asks him to tell the commander that she is not leaving this place if the army doesn't help her get this grave out of the hole. Indeed, the grave is taken out of there and loaded onto a plane when weird stuff starts happening. Nick falls asleep and he has a dream about what Ahmanet did in the past. When he wakes up, he sees Vale has been possessed and he is trying to open Ahmanet's grave. The commander tries to stop him but Vale kills him moments before he turns against Nick and the others, which leaves him with no choice but to shoot him. Suddenly, a swarm of crows forcibly enters the plane and it starts shaking up. Nick puts a parachute on Jenny and pulls its lever so it can open and save her while he crashes with the plane. That night, Jenny is called in the morgue to try and identify the dead bodies, but before she enters, Nick wakes up inside the morgue and seems perfectly okay. Vale appears to him in a ghostly form and Nick asks him if he is dead, to which Vale replies he is not, but he would wish to be. In the meantime, 2 rescuers find Ahmanet's grave near the wrecks of the plane and, unfortunately for them, the grave is open and a mummy is inside it. The mummy kisses both of them and turns them into mindless skeletons, which she now can use her magic on and summon them to be her followers. Jenny takes Nick for a drink so he can process what happened to him and she starts revealing some more information about Ahmanet's legend. She says that Ahmanet was a figure that was erased from the history books and retells him the story of how she killed the pharaoh and his child, but this time she also reveals that Ahmanet used a special dagger which consisted of 2 parts, the blade itself and a red stone. It is believed that the dagger would have the power to help the god of death, Set, manifest into a physical form. Furthermore, she and the group she is working with believe that the dagger's stone is located in London, where the plane coincidentally crashed. While Jenny talks to him, Nick sees Vale's ghost, who signals him that they need to talk. Nick goes to the bathroom and is able to see Vale in the mirrors, where he reveals that both of them are cursed and that's why he became a ghost. On the other hand, that is also why Nick survived the plane crash. Vale warns him that things are going to be getting worse for both of them unless Nick does what Ahmanet asks him to. Although Nick has a hard time believing it, he sees another vision and he is almost hit by a car. Jenny asks him what's going on and Nick tells her that he is cursed and he now believes it, adding that he knows where he needs to go. Nick takes Jenny to an old church but he is soon attacked by Ahmanet and her skeletons. She pins him down and takes her time enjoying what she is about to do to him. Ahmanet breaks a statue and gets the dagger from inside it, but when she is ready to stab Nick, she stops because the dagger is missing its red stone. Jenny comes into the room and momentarily distracts Ahmanet, giving Nick some time to fight against the weird skeletons. Ahmanet grabs Jenny by her throat, but Nick runs near her and temporarily defeats Ahmanet. The two of them use an ambulance to drive away, but Ahmanet has gotten into Nick's head and makes him drive right back to the church. Nick backs the vehicle off, but they are attacked by Ahmanet and her skeletons, and the vehicle flips over. Nick is infuriated and he gathers up his courage to get a piece of wood and try to fight her, but he is not able to do any damage to Ahmanet, who punches him and sends him flying in the air. Ahmanet approaches Jenny in order to get her dagger back, but, thankfully, she is intercepted by a group of elite hunters who manage to trap her while they also drag Jenny away and shoot Nick to sleep. The men take Nick to a secret location where he meets Henry Jekyll, the mysterious man we saw in the first scene of the film. Henry is a scientist and a lawyer who seems to be dealing with all kind of mythical creatures and study paranormal activities, which prove to be quite real. He also tells Nick a story about a man who created a dangerous pathogen that makes him hungry for death, but he only means himself, since he gets a serum and injects himself with it moments before he turns into a monster. Henry takes Nick to a room where he is keeping Ahmanet a prisoner and under control by running mercury through her body. Ahmanet seizes the opportunity and makes Nick see another vision, where she tells him that she was not going to kill him but rather give him a gift, eternal life, and make him a living god. She adds that Henry is going to kill him moments before she starts screaming out of pain. Nick has another talk with Jenny, who now apologizes for not telling him that she is a part of Henry's team, also saying that Nick should not listen to Ahmanet because he is a good person deep inside. Next, Jenny has a quick chat with Ahmanet, who tells her that the red stone has been found and blames her for bringing Nick in that place because Henry is going to attach the stone on the dagger and use it to kill Nick. Jenny joins Henry and Nick, who are having a talk, and asks Henry if he is really going to kill Nick. Henry says that Nick needs to sacrifice for the greater good, and soon a fight breaks, when Henry transforms into Hyde. While Nick fights with him, Ahmanet possesses one of Henry's employees and the man shuts down the mercury supply through Ahmanet's body, which gives her some time to recover. At the same time, Nick injects Hyde with the serum and is able to stop him. He and Jenny run away, but Ahmanet frees herself. Jenny tells Nick they need to go and find the stone, but things turn nasty when Ahmanet summons desert dust and overwhelms the whole city with it, while also raising the dead and using them to kill the living. After eliminating everyone, Ahmanet gets to the stone and attaches it on top of the dagger, and, now, she can focus on finding Nick and Jenny, which she successfully does. Jenny has been drowned and she is dead. Holding the dagger, Ahmanet tries to convince Nick to give in to her so she can stab him with the dagger and carry on with her plan. However, Nick is in love with Jenny and he will never give in to Ahmanet. While she grabs him by his throat and lifts him into the air, Nick plays with her mind in order to make her angry and Ahmanet tosses him away, not realizing that Nick has stolen her dagger. Nick bangs the dagger on the ground to break the stone, but Ahmanet asks him to stop because the stone can give him immense power, even control over life and death. Nick takes a look at Jenny and thinks about that, pretending to be giving the dagger back to Ahmanet. However, in the last minute, he stabs himself and he gains the power of the red stone, turning into a god. Although Ahmanet tries to seduce him, Nick sucks her life out of her and then proceeds to resurrect Jenny. When she is alive again, Nick tells her that he wishes they had more time and leaves. Later on, Jenny has a talk with Henry and tells him she was right about Nick and he is a good man after all, while Nick himself has also resurrected Vale and they ride through the desert towards their new adventures. Don't forget to like and subscribe to help our channel grow. Turn the notifications on so you won't miss any of our new videos. Thanks for watching.